Welcome back to Edgework, part of the Hammer Betting Network, presented by FanDuel. I'm Zack Phillips, joined here on this Tuesday morning, October 15th, by So Money and Matt Alber here to help us break down the full slate of games, answer any questions you guys may have in the chat here today as well. We'll see if we can get to an anytime goal score parlay at the end that maybe we'll hit this time. Maybe we can get something to go. We have plenty of options, plenty of games, so we'll test that out. But before we can get to all of that, I want to remind you guys the NHL is back and FanDuel is bringing you more action than ever because everyone knows hockey just hits different. Load up a power play with the hottest same game parlays found on the Parlay Hub. Lace them up and follow your bets with player prop tracking or bet on the fly with the Pulse. The hunt for the cup starts here. You can get more from the NHL with FanDuel, North America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can kick off the season with $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Just place any $5 bet and you'll get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Disclaimer, you must please play responsibly. You must be 19 plus and physically located in Ontario. Gambling problem? Call 1-866-531-2600. That's 1-866-531-2600. Visit connexontario.ca. Gentlemen, full slate ahead here. Alber, as for last night's picks, we were a little bit more confined in terms of what we could do for bets that we're going to be giving out, where numbers we're at currently at the time of the show yesterday. We do end up going 1-2. We win the Devils Utah under 6.5, despite that one moving against us and getting a late Vamelka confirmation, which we did not expect there. Habs money line. We should have just overruled Moretto on that one. Plus 112, blow it late to the Penguins, lose 6-3. And then the over 6.5 in Detroit, New York, plus 102 we gave out. It finishes with 5 goals. That was your best bet, Alber. What went wrong for us there? You were in person. You got to see that one live.
Yeah, Igor's live value went up quite a bit. He made a couple of great saves. Otherwise, that game was played a little more wide open. But no, Igor was very good last night. Or that game ends probably like 5-2, 5-3, something like that.
All right. Well, one loss. It's not gonna define you or define us here on the show. We keep pushing back. See if we can get ourselves positive here on the year. Has not been in the green yet. It's only been four shows at this point of 5 shows of daily picks. So we'll try to turn this around and get ourselves up into the green as of right now. I think we're down 1.5 units on the year at this current moment. So Money, how are you feeling? You've kind of been a little bit removed here. We haven't seen you in a few days. How are things?
Good, man. Good. I'm just getting into the back into the mix of things. I started a little bit lighter this season. Um, I felt the last previous years I've gotten off to tougher starts, so I've taken some time to kind of really go over my priors. So I haven't actually bet as much NHL up to this point as I usually do, but I'm getting closer and closer to being ready to fully fire away now.
So when you get into the beginning of the season, I kind of want to ask you this, a little bit of a process question. This goes for you too, Albert. But when you get into this at the beginning of the season, is it much more of a feeling out period, just kind of picking spots, reading markets? Is that more because you're trying to understand the market itself? You're trying to get a determination on teams, maybe a level of confidence on your own numbers that you have, adjusting priors? Is it just a combination of all three? Like, what goes into that slower, more cautious start at the beginning?
Well, it is a feeling out process, right? So like I go through all my numbers in the end of the season, and there was a disturbing trend where the first few weeks I'm starting out slowly, right? So now you got to look at why that is happening. Is it just random variance, or if there's something else to it? So what I was finding is that the first 2 3 weeks of the season, I wasn't beating the market as much as I do as the season goes on. So and then I went back a few more years and I noticed the same thing. So now what that indicates to me is that coming into the season, I have a problem with my priors. So that so because of that, I've spent a lot more time this summer kind of honing in on that process, making sure that my priors are strong, But that also means that because I'm making that change, I'm not going to fully dive in until I have that confidence in my numbers. So as the season goes on, theoretically that confidence should increase until you get to a point where nearing the end of the season now you are pretty much on market and like the edges become
Right.
smaller. The number of plays you have should theoretically diminish as well. So I'm at that point right now. I did recognize an issue, but the testing, so to say, has been going well, and we're almost there now.
Albert, you may take this as a dig. I don't mean it as this, but like last season, you publicly did not have that great of a year. I mean, on the show, you talked
It's an
about it with your own
understatement.
betting outside of on the show as well. But what happens for you in a summer like this? You see the results that you had last year, how things went. Now you're going to turn it around this year and try to adjust to, and obviously you don't want that to happen again. Like what takes place this summer, or is this just a matter of relying on the information that you had and just kind of understanding there was variance? Like, how do you kind of handle that yourself?
I do think it's a combo, and I think so many touched on it pretty well. Like, if you look back and say, like, hey, I'm not doing well in Octobers or something like that, right? Like, okay, maybe you don't fire quite as many plays. And I kind of looked at my stuff over the summer and, like, yeah, like by the end of October, like, it was pretty dire. So yeah, I do think that's part of it. And for me, like, I touched on this yesterday. I think, especially kind of feeling out goalies early in the season is really tough. So I think going into this year, kind of like one of the things that I've wanted to do, especially with totals, is just kind of wait and see how these teams are going to be playing, especially like a team like the Devils, right? That last year they're just playing all these wide open games. Over the summer, they obviously addressed the back end, address goaltender with Markstrom, and it's like now they're gone from like a team that you can pretty much want to bet overs every night to okay, they're starting to kind of play like an under team. So I do think there's a lot of mix to that. For me, it's kind of just being a little more selective, especially early on in the year. I think at this point, while we really figure out what teams are.
All right. Well, hopefully that gives people in the chat kind of an idea of how things are adjusted for people on the show, people doing this for a living as well. Outside of that, I know that this is picks and we're breaking down games, but I do think process is important, very important, especially in as you go through the beginning of the year, there's probably going to be people coming here being like, oh, there's a 12-game slate, a 10-game slate. Why weren't there pick? Well, sometimes it may just be, that's not the way that it goes on a nightly basis. And that's not how things go at the beginning of the season here. So just kind of wanted to give an insight or help people get an insight as to what's going on with you guys and what goes on behind the scenes to come onto the show here and give out these picks and the bets that are going on. So let's get into the games here tonight. There's probably a bunch of new people here that are or will be stopping by as well. People coming from Forward Progress. If you are, welcome. If you're coming from the watch alongs with Rob, enjoy. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, like the stream while you're here. For those of you who are returning, as always, like the stream if you forgot. Let's get into the games for today, and let's start with the Florida Panthers Columbus Blue Jackets game. I'm just going to go in order of what we got here on the FanDuel screen. Florida on the road here tonight in Columbus. Columbus plus 136. Florida minus 164. A total of 6.5 for what we got on FanDuel. Minus 120 to the under. So money. Let's start with you. What are your thoughts in this game? Do you have anything that's currently playable?
Yeah, so obviously it's going to be an emotional night in Columbus tonight. They'll have their tribute to Johnny Gaudreau. Um, I see this Florida team again. So this my my breakdown of this game has more to do with Florida than it has to do with what Columbus can do on the ice. Um, we pretty much know what Florida is, and we touched on this as well. That Florida is going to be a team that's going to kind of pick their spots uh, up until probably the All-Star break, and then after the All-Star break, they're gonna try to ramp it up again to get into the playoffs, right? So we have their what we've seen from Florida is not surprisingly they're getting up for for the games against the Bruins, and then we saw them lay an egg against the Sabres, right? So this pretty much is going to be the trend for Florida as I see it, as they go through the regular season. And yeah, and they should be like that, right? There's no reason to, as a cup champion and the cup finalist the year before, there's no reason to kind of blow your load early like this, right? So, a Tuesday night in Columbus after a game in Boston, or against the Bruins, as Spencer Knight is probably going to get the start. Yeah, I think that this is not a game where we probably see Florida's best. The number has moved. I see Florida FanDuel 136. So yeah, so at the plus 136, I'm okay with half a unit on Columbus. Um, yeah, and I'm not. Columbus hasn't been playing as bad as I thought either. So I'm okay with betting Columbus. It's more so based on the number that more often than not, in this situation, I don't think that the Panthers would warrant a number in the mid 160s here.
Okay, so half unit here, plus 136 on Columbus. Tag that under so money. But Alber, you were kind of looking for some Columbus numbers as well, as you see that one move a little bit on screen, plus 134 right there in front of us now. What are your thoughts in this game? Was there a certain number you were looking for?
I mean, ideally, I was looking for 140 and up. I think this is as big of a spot mismatch as you're really going to get this early in the season. I mean, obviously, so many touched on like the Columbus home opener and all the emotions that are going to be in that building tonight. But even from the Panthers side, like last game of a road trip, the game they cared about was yesterday. Like it's pretty clear you can see the rivalry they have with Boston going at this point. Like even without Kachuk, without Barkov, like yesterday was clearly the game that they get up for. They do that. They start Bobrovsky yesterday. Like you're obviously going to get Spencer Knight tonight, who was pretty bad in his first game. I've been looking for this spot for Columbus for a while. Granted, I did miss the 146. I'm kind of sitting around right now and hoping that whoever steamed the Panthers into oblivion yesterday comes back and does it again here today. Because I'm definitely looking to get on Columbus here. That's really the only way I can look.
Okay, so we have one official play here so far locked in for tonight's games. Again, BetStamp app, Edgework HQ. We are tracking tags on everyone so we can see who's giving out what. We'll review them here on the show as we get more of a sample size through the first week and a half. We'll let people settle in here and see if we can build up some type of real data so we're not looking at 1 and 2 records for people. I don't think that's quite fair. Let's go to now the Canucks Lightning game. Vancouver in Tampa here tonight. Vancouver plus 114, Tampa minus 137. Alber, before we let So Money take over and give us the full breakdown of what's going on with this one and why he's going back to Rick Tocchet to win Jack Adams and Hughes, Norris, and all that kind of stuff. What's your thoughts on this game? Is this number around where you thought it would be? Is there something playable here for you? As we got a total of 6.5 plus money to the over right now. Where are you at?
Yeah, this is about where I thought it would be, honestly. And like where I say I'm kind of sitting here and waiting to see what teams are. Like these are two teams that I don't know what to make of yet, quite at all. There's just way too much unknown here for me. So gun to my head, I'm leaning towards Vancouver, but I don't have a play on this.
Gun to your head, eh? That's the Kanish special. No bad gun to my head. I'm going this way. You're taking.
If we had lost the Red Wings last night, Kanish may put a gun to my head. So I'm very glad that's not happened.
So Money, let's hear from you. Breakdown of the Canucks, what's going on with them early in the season here, and giving us this number right now.
So the simple answer is I don't know. I agree with Matt here fully. These are a couple of teams that I would like more time with. The Canucks. We've touched on the Canucks, right? Like I do expect them to take a step back this season. Tyler Myers was practicing yesterday, so he should be back, which is really good news because when he left on Friday night, when he left the ice, it looked really bad. So it looks like he's going to be okay, which is great. Probably Lankinen back in goal. Shilov's what he showed in game 1 was really concerning, frankly. I think that there were many situations where He wasn't tracking the puck as well. He wasn't picking it up on longer shots, and we get to a situation with young goalies where, especially if they start out as strong as he did, eventually there's a book that's made on him, right? So right now the book is out on Shilovs that he has trouble tracking long range shots, and we saw Calgary doing that. So until that gets cleaned up pretty quickly, I would expect to see Lankinen kind of get the bulk of the starts here until we have rest situations. So expect to see Lankinen, who I'm fine with at this point. Tampa Bay is a team that I was a little bit lower on coming into the season, but again, it's a team that I want to spend more time with. So just like Alber, I look at the number and I'm fine with where it is. So I won't have a play on this game. Obviously, it's a game that I'll be watching closely.
Any news on Gensel playing here? Charles asking.
Latest, he wasn't. He's not in the morning skate. Actually, he is. I'm sorry. He is in the morning. Yeah. So he skated with Point and Kucherov. So yeah, I would expect him to play then.
Okay. There you
And
go,
he's
Charles.
practicing on the power play. I think he's probably good.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's keep moving here. Many more games actually left on today's schedule. Again, I'm going to ask you guys because there's not enough on the stream. If you haven't liked the stream, hit the like button while you're watching. Less than half of you that are watching have liked it. As well, throughout the course of the show here today, as games come up, if you find a goal scorer prop that you like, if you know there's someone and you want them included later or you want them considered, send them in the chat. Jordan is going to be very upset. We're going to have to include his in here no matter what today. Riley Smith and Anders Lee were sent to the chat yesterday, boys. We said no to one. We missed the Anders Lee one. Both of them scored yesterday. Of course.
I think someone sent Anton Lundell too. I mentioned Nick Zibanejad. There were a lot of leans in the chat in the show yesterday that ended up playing.
And not included. And of course, we
Smith
couldn't
too,
include one of them because, we got too many. We got to include Lane Hudson plus 900 in the anytime goal scorer parlay. The guy's just doing cardio out there for 30 minutes. So come on. All right. Let's go to the Vegas-Washington game. Vegas on the road, minus 134. The Capitals plus 112. Total of 5.5. The under 5.5 plus 106 right now here on FanDuel. So, Money, back to you. Thoughts on this game? Any involvement here, or is this one you're just pretending isn't happening tonight because of our friend Slam Deal and what we might hear from him?
No, I don't. I don't worry about Slam Deal much. I don't really think about him at all. This is a game where so Vegas is going to take their morning skate in about 10 minutes here, so I'm kind of waiting on that. But I did have a bet earlier here. So Vegas coming off offensively, there was a lot of back and forth in that game, and knowing what we know about Vegas from previous seasons with this core, when they have a game like that, even if it's a win, they do tend to tighten it up the next game. This is who they are. This is their identity. They don't want to be playing back and forth like this against anybody, even if it is Anaheim, right? So where I'm sure they felt confident they could win any style they were playing that game. So I do expect Vegas to not bounce back defensively, but kind of tighten it up defensively. Again, they did give up one goal, but there were a lot of chances, right? So I expect Vegas to clean that up. Washington, we know how Washington wants to play. They'll be playing the same style that we've become accustomed to. Logan Thompson is going to start tonight against his former team. I think that Washington does have a very good 1-2 punch. So I did play the under there. Right now, let's bring up the number here. FanDuel. Sorry, my screen is a little. There you go.
You're good.
Oh, 5.5 plus money. So that makes it a little bit tougher for me. I would like a 6 there. So let's wait. I'm not gonna.
Well, hold on, so money. We can get sixes elsewhere. We can play those. They are widely available. I'm seeing like under six minus 111, under six minus 115, 117, 116, 115, 114. So we can get the under sixes. There's plenty
Okay.
of them out there in the market right now. We can play them.
Okay. So 6 up to minus 115.
Okay. We'll lock that in then. Under six, minus 111, we can get best price available out there. Minus 115's widely available as well on the under six.
Okay. Let's do that.
There you go. There's another bet locked in here, courtesy of So Money. 2 for So Money today. Donut for Alber so far. Alber, what's going on in this one? Yeah, you have any interest?
I don't. I certainly lean the under. I think for me, the Capitals are one of those teams that I just don't know what to make of yet. I kind of expect them to be relatively similar to what they were last year. I don't know what to make of them yet. Vegas, obviously, like I touched on this in the season preview. Like I do think while they're healthy and have a full roster, like they're really good. So if I was playing a side, I'd certainly lean to Vegas. Do you like the underlook? I haven't played anything here.
Okay. Added in under six, minus 111. We got good to minus 115 in the Vegas Washington game. Next game, let's take a look at the New Jersey Devils, Carolina Hurricanes. Carolina hosting New Jersey tonight, minus 154 for Carolina, plus 128 for the Devils. Total of 6.5 here yet again, plus 104 to the over. You got anything in this one, Alber?
So this one I have played something.
There we
I
go.
played the under a little bit ago. I actually clicked a under 6 at plus money, under 6 minus 128. I think we can maybe find a little better if you shopped around. But I did play the under. Yeah, I touched on it a few minutes ago. I think the Devils are kind of playing as an under team right now. Like they are not really allowing a whole lot. And when you look at kind of the Carolina side of it, like they're controlling play like they always do. I don't know where the goals really come from for this Carolina team. So yeah, I'm happy to kind of play a plus money under here on under 6, especially when we know we're going to be getting Markstrom today. I'm also leaning to the Devils. I think I see like a couple of plus 140s and up, which would be enough to kind of get me on the Devils for a smaller play. But yeah, I did play the plus money under 6, and I'm going to end up playing the Devils smaller at a plus 140 and up.
Okay. So for our total here number that we have on the 6.5, before I even lock this in, so when you have any disagreement on that total?
I don't have any disagreement. No.
Okay. I just want to give people an opportunity to go head to head. That's all. You know, if it's there, it's there. Albert, under 6.5, minus 120s out here, minus 122, minus 130 in that range. There are also under sixes between minus 105 to about even money. There's one rogue plus 104 out there. That would be the penny number available right now. What would you be looking for? What's the best one that you want here, tracked for your personal record?
I see a few kind of plus 100, plus 104, plus 100 is fine. I feel like that's kind of the middle between the plus 104 and the minus 102, minus 104s.
Okay. Let's do that then. We'll lock that in under 6 plus money. So money, thoughts in this game before we move off?
Let's go New Jersey. We have them to win the President's Trophy. So as long as I don't have any bet on this game, but I just want to just have them keep on racking up the points here.
Okay. So nothing in specific. Big picture though. Lock in Alber. First one there of the day, the under 6 in the Devils Hurricanes game. So keep moving here. Again, we'll recap every bet that we give out at the very end of the show. Keep sending your goal scores in the chat. We got a couple cents so far. Colts showing up and making an appearance, sending his goal scorer in there as well. Keep moving here, boys. Let's go. Wild Blues up next. We're going to take a look at this one. We've got minus 110 either side here on FanDuel as of right now. Over 5.5 is minus 128. The under plus 104. So money. What do you think about this gross game?
It's actually not gross to me. Let's go ahead and lock in the Blues at minus 110.
Okay.
It's yeah. So the Blues, obviously, we've had sort of a disagreement on the show. especially with Moretto being so anti-Blues this season, where Alber's a little bit higher and I kind of fall in somewhere in the middle between them. I do, I do, I don't think the Blues are going to be as bad as they were last season, and I think that they have a lot of there are a lot of things going for them in this. A new culture within that locker room. I think that there's guys there that should have a better season than they did last year. The Wild are a little bit banged up. Um, I'm waiting. The Blues just had their morning skate, or they're having it right now. Whereas the Wild, I'm kind of waiting if they do take the ice later today. So I just want to see how what kind of personnel situation we'll be seeing with the Wild. But I didn't want to get in front of it early because the number is going to move. I think we're good to go ahead and lock in the Blues right now.
Okay, Blues minus 110. It's still right there on FanDuel as well. Widely available. Alber, what do you think about this one?
Yeah, I'm in full agreement. I kind of looked at these when I got home last night, and the first one that stood out to me was I saw Blues plus 102. And I'm in total agreement here. I think that these teams are relatively even right now, especially kind of with the Wild dealing with a couple issues. Blues at home, yeah, I'm on the Blues too.
Okay, another one on the Blues. Kind of, would you want this as a double? You're trying to tag on? You want to get your name on tagged onto this one too?
Yeah, let's double this. Especially, I just saw Binnington was also confirmed just now.
Okay, so there you go. Double best bet on Blues. So money. Alber in on this one as well. If you're in the chat, you know what that means. Just lock this one because we're turning it around this year. And we're actually, we're going all the way in. No, I was going the other way.
Yeah,
Alber. I'm saying we're on the right side this year. Yeah, no, Jordan saying hammer the Wild. No, wrong. Not this year. Not this year. It's a new year.
That's not the way that we do it when I'm around here, man. Like if it's a double play, then we're good with the Blues.
Double play. We're great with the Blues. Not good, great with the Blues. A few more games left to get to here.
And,
San Jose.
hold on, real quick before you finish. I just got to touch on that so money comment about the Blues not being as bad as last year. If they're not as bad as last year, that already means I win that head-to-head with Moretto.
All right, there you go.
Right off the bat, like they have to be worse than last year for Moretto to win that. So I like that.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, what do you got? 86.5 points. You've got the over, Moretto, the under. Okay. Keep going here. More games to look at. San Jose, Dallas. San Jose plus 300. The Dallas Stars minus 385. Macklin Celebrini on the IR. So money. No good. Doesn't feel good about that Calder, but hopefully he can come back soon. It's not over. It's not out.
No, Bedard missed time last year too. Although Bedard had already established his numbers before he got hurt.
Yeah, that's the only thing. Where do you guys come to on this game here? So many. Do you got any bets in this one?
No. I'll be sitting this one out. Dallas. There's no reason for me to bet against Dallas at this point, especially with San Jose without our boy, local kid, local legend, Macklin Celebrini. So, I will sit this one out.
Okay, Alber, anything for you?
I don't know if there's a number that you could give me out before like plus 380 to make me think about the Sharks tonight, and I'm not laying this big of a price this early in the season. Pretending this game doesn't exist.
Okay, fair enough. Seattle, Nashville. Seattle plus 138. The Predators minus 170. Total of 5.5 here. Minus 128 on the over right now. So money. Let's go back to you. What's the breakdown of this one?
Yeah, so what we're seeing from Seattle is pretty similar to what we saw from them last year. When Seattle, most games they have trouble generating much offense. I know in Game 1 against the Blues, they actually looked pretty good offensively. They were able to generate a lot, but again, that was the Blues, right? So like there was a step down there, and now we had in their last game against Dallas, they looked pretty much like they did last year, right? Now, Nashville kind of falls somewhere in the middle there, where I don't think Nashville is as good as Dallas, but they're not as bad as the Blues. So we have to temper that a little bit. I still expect Seattle to have trouble generating against Nashville. I do like the under there. Let's bring it up on FanDuel here.
Under 5.5 plus.
So 5.5 again, right? So yeah, so it's sharp, right? We know that under 5.5 is going to be a sharp number. So if we can lock that in at a 6
minus 115.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Perfect.
So Nashville, as much firepower as they've brought in this season, I still think that they want to they do want to play a certain style, and that's not a back and forth style. So they did get into a back and forth game against Detroit, even though the final score in that game was 3-0. That was a back and forth game, right? So I do expect Nashville to kind of similar to Vegas. If you have teams with a certain DNA, they generally want to revert back to that, right? So I expect that from Nashville. We know what we're going to get from Seattle. We have a large enough sample size going back to last season, and they haven't made any changes there, any significant changes that would move the needle for me. So I would expect I would expect Seattle to continue playing their style. I would expect Nashville to revert back to the way that they would like to play. So I do have the under here.
Under in this one, another one tracked for so money. Again, if you are watching right now, I see a ton of people coming from Forward Progress streams. People who watched last night, we appreciate you guys hopping in here. Hopefully you guys can find some value. If you don't know about hockey, hopefully you guys can just at least find some bets to throw down for tonight and maybe get yourself engaged in it and then want to come back tomorrow. But while you are here, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Please hit the like button, comment in the chat. Let us know your thoughts, questions, anything like that. We're happy to get to them. As we move to the next one, as we get ready to move to the next one, send your stuff in the chat. Alber, anything for you in this game? Kraken, Predators?
I haven't. I was looking at the Predators earlier when they kind of got bet down. We kind of talked about early in the season, like one of the things I look at kind of early on is like, what are these kind of extreme underlying stat outliers that are going to change course very quickly? And like Moretta was on top of one yesterday with Utah shooting like 22% or whatever it was. Like that obviously came crashing down to earth yesterday.
Yeah.
Well, right now the Predators are shooting under 4%, and they're also bottom 5 in the league of save percentage. Neither of those I really expect to last. I think they're substantially better than Seattle. At home, there were some plus 145s, 150s earlier. At this point, I just think the number is gone. So I don't have anything on this, but if someone were to come in like Seattle, like I would like to get on Nashville. I'm just not laying minus 165 to do it.
Okay, fair enough. We do have a question in the chat here as well. I think this would go really well as we get to our next game. I've normally asked, do you guys see any losses on the Flames schedule? I keep looking and can't find any. Well, I don't know if it's going to come here tonight either. Flames minus 146 against the Blackhawks. Chicago plus 122. Total of 6.5. Plus 104 to the over on this 6.5 as of right now. Alber, you see a loss here tonight for the Flames?
Apparently not, because I'm on the regular season points total. It is funny because we had a little conversation at some point this summer, and he was like, yeah, I'm on the Flames point total over. And I'm like, all right, I'm on under 82.5. He goes, all right, I'm on over 81.5. I'm like, 82 one time. Yeah, I mean, the Flames look good. Do I think the loss is tonight against Chicago? No, I don't. The Flames are another team I just don't really know what to make of yet. Like, this doesn't scream really good team to me still, but again, I could be very wrong. So like this is one I'm now kind of trying to take with caution here.
Okay. Someone you approaching with the same caution?
Yes, I did want to get behind Chicago. Really want to get there, but and I mean obviously I'm not sold on the Flames. They're not a playoff team. They should start racking up the losses here, you would think soon. Their win in Vancouver. They were outplayed most of the game. we talked about Sheloffs earlier. Yeah, so they beat Vancouver, then they beat a Philadelphia team on a back-to-back, and then they beat an Edmonton team that we know that are starting the way that the Oilers are starting now. So, yeah, so I do like Chicago at the number, but I just can't get there, and it's one of those situations where if you asked me about this number a couple of weeks from now, I would have been like, yeah, we're going ahead and firing on Chicago. But just in case, um, Calgary is something that I did not expect. I want to see more of it. So for that reason, I will reluctantly pass on this game, even though I don't think Calgary has any business laying this number in against Chicago. So yeah, I will pass, but very, very reluctantly.
Okay, makes sense.
And again, we kind of talk about outliers. Like, I don't think Calgary's going to keep shooting 18% for very long. So I am kind of in the wait and see here mode. Would like to find a spot to get a bet against them, but like Blackhawks at plus 125 on the road or something, that's not the number.
Right. One more game here to get to on the schedule for tonight as well. Before we finish up with this game, send your goal scorers in the chat. We'll get to our anytime goal scorer parlay. Yes, no, whether we like them, whether they're going to go in round robin, these things. We did hit 100 concurrent viewers here today, so keep hitting that like button on the stream as well. Thank you to everyone who stopped by to watch. Thank you to everyone who's watched the whole time, participate, anything like that. But send your goal scorers here in the chat. We want to see them as we get to our anytime goal scorer parlay to close this one out. Final game of the night, Flyers, Oilers. Philly, plus 184. The Oilers, minus 225, total of 6.5. The under, minus 115, over minus 105 right now on FanDuel. The Flames may never lose a game, as Abnormally just said. Will the Oilers ever win one? Is this their time tonight? So money. Is this the time the Oilers get right?
Can you sorry? Can you come back to me on that game? There's
Yep. Alber.
Sorry.
Is this the time the Oilers get right? Oscar, you said.
Yeah. Sorry. The Wild just got steamed, so I was just betting more on the Blues. Can't wait for that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was looking at. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think we both saw the same thing at the same time. I don't know what happened. Maybe we can go back to that one. Like, is there news or something somewhere? We can come back to this one.
All right, let's bounce back. Let's bounce back.
Did anything happen? Like, I don't know. I don't agree with it. We're already on the Blues at a minus price, like plus 108. I added a little bit more. Moretto, go do something else. So I guess back to the Oilers. Like, do I expect that the Oilers are going to finish the season with the league's worst shooting percentage? No, I don't. Do I think the Oilers are going to finish with the league's second worst save percentage? No, I don't. Do I think the Flyers are very good? Like, I think they're better than the market seems to be on. And like, normally this is kind of a spot that I'm looking to be on them. I don't remember if it was on the show or I was telling you guys on the side, like the Flyers as big dogs right now are kind of a team I like wanting to play on. So like that spot at Vancouver the other night, I thought was pretty good. Like in theory, I'd like this number. The Oilers are they've been playing really well and just cannot get a single bounce and they can't get a save. So this is just not kind of the game I'm looking to get on the Flyers on. But at this number, it would be Flyers or nothing for me.
Okay. Flyers are nothing. So money. Are you good to go for this one?
Yeah. So yeah, I was just looking into the St. Louis, Minnesota as well. Just when it came up. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure it out. But yeah. So Oilers game. Not a game that I want to get involved with. At some point, you would expect the Oilers to turn it around. They did start last season with kind of like a prolonged stretch where they just weren't playing well before they finally turned it on. The Oilers are one of those teams where, you just want to give them some time, right? They just got back. They just got over like a big Stanley Cup loss where it was devastating, right? Like, coming back in that way, being down 3-0, and being so close, right? So they're one of those teams where like if you deal with like a little kid, right? Like you just gotta step back and kind of let them feel their feelings for a bit, right? Just like let them figure it out, give them space. So I treat the Oilers in that sense. I think that long term they'll be fine, but I think that they just need some space right now to kind of figure out their feelings, and then once they get over that, I think they'll be fine.
Okay, there you go. That's it for sides and totals, unless you guys have anything else to add or anything you want to circle back to. I'll leave it up
I
to
don't
you
have
here now.
anything on that. Just more of a general comment. And like, it's funny because I know the Hit the Books guys have mentioned this quite a bit. It's like, and I feel like it's now kind of trickling over to NHL that there's just some buyback on some sides this year that I don't understand at all. And those guys have mentioned it consistently that someone's kind of just like fading releases all the time. Like, who was betting the Panthers yesterday at plus 115? Like that closed what, like plus 108 or something along those lines? Like right now, like so many and I are both confused as to who's kind of betting the Wild up to this number. Like there have just been a few moves so far this year in the market that I just don't think make a whole lot of sense. Like yesterday, someone was betting the Panthers right before a puck drop, like they knew the final score. So I don't know. I think it's something that we're just kind of trying to keep an eye on in the early season. But again, this is kind of just one of those things that you don't really know what to make of it. But also at the same time, it's like shopping around, very important. Kind of knowing the number you're looking for, very important. Because especially now where like there are also a few kind of more people who are entering the NHL market this year that are going to move numbers. I think it's more important than ever to kind of like stay on top of it all day. Because I don't think this year's like years past where like once you hit 11, 12 o'clock, like most numbers aren't going to move until puck drop.
What do you? Sorry, go ahead, someone.
Yeah, and like also in terms of a process, I think that this St. Louis Minnesota game is a very good example, and it's good that it's happening live right now, because it's one of those situations where there is no news against us right now, so it's a difference of opinion in the market, right? So which is fine, it happens, but again, so this would be a situation where I would be coming back on Minnesota, or I'm sorry, coming back on the Blues at a number that's better. But this is a significant move here, so I just
Yeah.
I need to figure out what's going on first. But if it is just a general disagreement in the market, like I had that in the CFL game yesterday, right? Like just before kickoff, like it went back the other way, away from what I had bet. So it happens. I'm okay if it's a market disagreement. I'm not okay if the number moved because I missed some news, right? So that's something I'm not okay with. So before I will wait for Minnesota to get on the ice if they're having their morning skate. But if it's not news related, I will bet again on St. Louis. If there is news that comes out, I'll probably just have to eat it.
Fair enough. I think that would make sense. Like in these cases, though, let's say you verify some money, like, yeah, this is a move against. There's not news. This is just a disagreement, and it's this significant. How do you kind of approach it later in the day? I know you kind of just talked about it a little bit, but in terms of like you've already played this, now it's gone way the other way. Like, are you coming in small at the end, adding onto it? Are you just saying like, hey, no, I really disagree with this number. I think where it was before is right, and actually just playing it heavy yet again because now you have that edge. Like, what happens in those cases? I know it's kind of a few and far between, but what do you do?
So, yeah, I think it depends on the stage of the season that we're at as well. I touched on it earlier, where it's possible that this disagreement is because my Blues number is wrong this year, right? And or my Wild number is wrong. So that's very possible. If this was 2 months from now and there was a disagreement like this and it's not news related, then I would probably come back in like a big way on the Blues. Right now, I mean, the number is going to come back down. Like it just moved too far on Minnesota, right? So like we know it's going to come back down. It's just we just need to figure out why it moved in the first place. if it was just news related, or if it was just a disagreement, or if it is news related. Yeah, and it's not Alber related, but yeah. So, but to answer your question, if this was happening 2 months from now, where I'm very confident in my numbers, then just in case, and based on what I touched on earlier, I could be wrong on one or both of these teams. So I need to take that into account right now as well.
Makes sense. Okay, let's get to it. Anytime goal score parlay. Just quickly for those of you out there, before we recap everything at the end, we do have a bunch of bets in. Just tell you what we're at. Vegas, Washington, under 6, minus 111. New Jersey, Carolina, under 6, plus 104. Columbus, money line, plus 136. Blues, money line, minus 110, which we've just now broke down in depth as to the move going against us, kind of trying to figure out where. And finally, Seattle, Nashville, under 6, minus 115. Those are the bets that we have right now. Let's get to our anytime goal scorers. Boys, so money, Alber, I hope you guys are ready to go here because we've got a lot of games and a lot of submissions. Let's start with this. Takuchi sends Svechnikov anytime goal plus 230. Svechnikov, let's make sure that this number is there for us on FanDuel. Yep, 220. Svechnikov in the Devils Hurricanes game. What are your thoughts on this?
I like Devils and I'm on the under, so I'm a no on this one.
Okay. So money.
Sorry, I'm just really rattled right now with
yeah. Fair enough. Svechnikov anytime.
Yeah.
We're still rattled about this Wild Blues thing, I think.
Yeah.
No, and the Flyers just got steamed as well. See
so just to
this is good when we're live like
going,
this.
Yeah, I know we keep going back to this, but with the Wild Blues thing, right? Like, just so you can kind of see a bit of the process. Like, we see the move, and I imagine the first thing So Money and I were both looking at is, okay, like, are these Wild guys actually playing tonight? Eriksson Ek and Spurgeon. And, like, I think we both expect that Eriksson Ek is in, and I don't think Spurgeon even traveled, it looks like. So I don't think this is roster related. So I think I think that was the first thing that we both looked at when we saw that move.
Right.
Just to kind of give people an idea of the process of that.
But yeah, Svechnikov, I will say no. Okay. So I'll pass there.
This one we are putting in no matter what. There's no disagreement. I'm sorry. He went 2 for 2 yesterday. We heard about it last night in the Forward Progress watch along. Jordan, Owen Tippett plus 290, but he corrected plus 240. It is currently plus 230. Right now, I think for the sake of it, we're throwing it in there. Jordan hit yesterday on both that he submitted. We're keeping it. Kudos to you, Jordan. You hit, you come back. We'll hear you out. Okay, so you go.
I'm a big Owen Tippett guy too, so I'm more than happy to play this one.
Okay, there you go. Tippett plus 230 added. Next one here, Colts. Cole Sillinger plus 330 in the Columbus, Florida game. What are your thoughts on this one, guys?
I think that might be a good one.
Cole Sillinger still plus 330 there on FanDuel. Alber?
Yeah, I'm good with this.
Yeah.
Okay. Cole Sillinger, second one locked in, plus 330. Back to Dakuchi here. Luchenko, anytime goal, plus 650. We're taking a little bit of swing on that.
I'm not, because we already added Tippett, and I don't think throwing in two guys on a team that's plus 200 to win or whatever is a great idea.
Yeah. We'll keep away from there. John Carlson, Kevin sends, plus 550.
I'm not really interested in that one.
Yeah.
No? Okay. No John Carlson. Braden Points, anytime goal scorer.
I like that.
Let me just get some odds on this one. Braden Points is plus 135.
Yeah.
Good?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay, there you go. Jack in on this one. Plus 135, Braden Point. Timothy Hake. Wyatt Johnson, anytime goal, plus 140.
Yeah.
How many? Do we already have 3?
3, yeah. Where am I at? There we go. Wyatt Johnson, plus 150 we can get here on FanDuel.
I say yes.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Wyatt Johnson in plus 150. We only got a couple left.
There's one
Moretto.
other I want to put in, so I'm kind of trying to be a little easy right now.
Okay. Moretto. Bouchard plus 450.
No, because it's Moreno.
So money. You know what happens if this one hits and we don't put it in, right?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
I
Like,
blocked him on everything.
I think
I actually don't hate it.
yeah, I think we should go for it.
Okay. So we're gonna double down in this game. We're double dipping. Bouchard plus 480. You can get on FanDuel, best price right now. 5 locked in. Let's keep going. Paul says Sam Reinhart, goal scorer. We do have Cylinder in this game as well, remember, so we're gonna SGP plus in these if we go down that path too aggressively. In terms of the Reinhardt goal scorer, plus 105.
And we're on Columbus. I'd pass on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
pass on that.
Okay. No to that one. Mr. Slate Forster plus 300.
Same reaction as Lachenko.
Yeah, that one's in that. Yeah. Okay. Off. Brian submits to Stamkos anytime goal plus 155.
We already have Braden Point there too, right?
Yeah, we do.
Different game.
No, different game. Different game.
Oh, it's a different game. Sorry.
But we do
They're
have
not on
Braden
the same.
Point,
Yeah, they're
sorry.
not on the same team.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Which is it's still like it's still crazy to see Stamkos not a
Yeah.
Randy jersey. Like it just has not set in yet for me at all.
So I do
plus
have the under there.
175.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I thought
We could say no.
I'll leave it up to you guys.
I like it more than a couple we already have, to be honest. But yeah, we're getting up there, so I'm gonna say no.
Okay. Last one Brian sends here. We've got Holloway plus 430.
Yeah.
Alber.
This parlay is gonna be like 2,500 to 1.
Perfect. Trying to get your units back from last year.
I
Yes
do
or
like
no?
this too.
You
Yeah, I
like it?
This one too.
Okay. Holloway is in plus 430. We grab. There was another one here, Sam. I do want to acknowledge it. He said Marchment plus 270. Again, we already threw one in for that Dallas game, so probably just going to be a no. We have 6, and Albert, what was your guess as what this payout was going to be?
I mean, we have a what plus 2
Yes.
plus 500 something. I mean, this has got to be like at least 300-400 to 1.
Okay, and you had one more to throw in.
The one I was gonna throw in there was Dawson Mercer at plus 450.
So money, what do you think?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay,
I'm down.
why not? Why not us?
I don't bet a whole lot of those. I did bet that one actually for small a little bit ago.
Nice. Dawson Mercer plus 450 we've got right now. Okay, ready, gentlemen? Want to see if this one comes out too?
Now this is at least like 700-800 to 1. I feel like. Good lord.
Cool. All right. Why not us?
Oh man. Okay, $5 on this.
Is that $1 to win 12 grand? Yeah, it is.
Yeah. We honestly at this point should probably just do $1. Well, go to FanDuel, use the tokens that you can get there if you do want to use these. Most of these are best price in market as well, but profit boosts, no sweats. You can use a lot of those if you find them. If you have them available to you, I would recommend using those. Round robin them, play this responsibly. This is a lottery ticket, remember, ladies and gentlemen, but put together with the help of you guys. Lottery ticket here today. If this wins, though, you best believe we are going to victory lap this one.
Forever.
Yeah, for the rest of time.
It'd be great if we made more off one of these than Joey Knish makes in like 2 years on Hit the Books. That would be wonderful.
Wow. Okay. I produced that show, Albert. Come on. Let's show some
The show is
respect.
very well produced.
Thank you.
When you're not off apple picking.
Okay, enough. All right, best bets for today. So let's go with the goal scorers again. Recap for everybody. We have Tippett and Bouchard in the Oilers Flyers game. Let's get a lot of goals there. Sillinger, anytime goal in the Columbus Panthers. Braden Point in Vancouver, Tampa. Wyatt Johnson in San Jose, Dallas. Dylan Holloway, Minnesota, St. Louis. Dawson Mercer in New Jersey, Carolina. As for best bets for today, Washington, Vegas, under 6, minus 111. We have, that was courtesy of So Money. New Jersey, Carolina, under 6 plus 104 from Alber. Columbus, money line, half unit on that one. Reminder, half unit, Columbus money line. Thank you, So Money, for that one. Then we have the Blues. Of course, dude, the one. So Money and Alber, double best bet. Blues money line minus 110 has gone immediately back against us. Still confused as to why, but maybe we'll figure it out later. And then finally, Nashville, Seattle, under 6. So Money on that one. Those are our best bets for today. Head over to the BetStamp app, not the Edgework app, the BetStamp app. As Edgework HQ, you can see all the bets that we give out throughout the course of the year, dating back to last year as well. We'll break it down, who gave out what, and how everyone is doing throughout the course of the season. I appreciate you all in the chat for watching here today. Hit that like button if you haven't already. So Money, Albert, thanks as always for taking the time to do this. To everyone in the chat, to everyone who was new, who hopped in here, hopefully you enjoyed the show. Enjoy the games tonight, and good luck on your bets.